Yes. Okay. Hey, this kind of ties into what you were saying too about like people leg wrapping him and stuff like that. Talk about the infamous meeting with Vince when you thought about having him pick a hand because him wanting you to go overseas to tribute to the troops when you told it was voluntary and you chose not to go.
Yeah, so it wasn't that big of a situation to where he would even have a clue that it almost happened. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it wasn't like there was like a half a altercation or anything like that. It's just that um, the wrestlers were going to be going overseas to visit the troops, and I didn't want to go. And it wasn't political or anything. It was like, dude, I'm so burnt out from traveling. I've been working 4 or 5 days a week, every week, except for international trips where it's 7 days a week. And then we had 10 days off coming up for
Yeah.
Christmas. And I was counting the days, I can make it in 2 more months. I got a 10-day break for Christmas. It was one of those things, right? Right when we started getting close to it, they had a meeting. It's going to be voluntary. But we're going to go over and say hi to the troops and all this. And I was like, yeah, miss me on that one, bro. Um, there's enough wrestlers, that want to go. Cool. And then Johnny, says, well, they say, Robbie, they say that it's volunteer, but they expect you to go, right? And I was just like, yeah, like I said, dude, thanks, no thanks. And then I guess he told Vince, and Vince approached me one day and said, Rob, I understand that you don't want to go visit the troops for, on Christmas or however he put it, and I was like, yeah, thank you for understanding. And he was like, yeah, but I think you're going to see this is going to be one of the best experiences of your lifetime. And I was like, no, I don't. Did you miss some? Like, that part where I'm not going. I'm not going.
That part. Do you understand? I have a calendar. I was marking the days down.
Boom. And I started getting offended just at the feeling the void of control or presumed control over my own person. It was that. It wasn't anything else. It was just like, man to man, wait a second. You're telling me. But anyway, first, it escalated to that because, no, I'm not going. Well, before you make up your mind, I suggest you talk to some of the wrestlers that have been there before and get their perspective. Man, this motherfucker thinks that I'm going, right? And I was stewing about it. And other wrestlers are coming up to me saying, man, Rob, I respect you for saying no. Like I don't want to go either, but I can't say no. I'm not RVD. Dude, why do I always hear that? Like there's nothing in my contract that says I can get no heat. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I just have principles, and I'm not a puppet, and that works for and against me. But here I'm saying that Christmas break I will be in California or wherever the hell I lived at the time. I guess that was it. So anyway, one day. It was the subject, like they were like, are they gonna let you not go? And I was getting mad. What do you mean let me not go? Like, am I a prisoner? Like what? Because already, dude, by that time I'd already taken in the fact that I signed this contract with these terms on it. And I'm an independent contractor, and I love that. I'm the 1% of the wrestlers that will argue against my preference, whether it comes to the union and health insurance. That's a whole nother episode. And right now people are going to be going nuts if they haven't heard my position on that. But as an independent contractor, I can take care of myself, and I negotiate all the terms that I need. If I want health insurance and it has to be part of the deal, boom, it's on there. Or if I'd rather have this much more money and I'll get my own health insurance, guess what? I'd rather do that. And most people say they'd rather do that. They don't even consider that an option. Why? I don't know. Basic thinkers, I guess. But it got to a point to where, I'm not gonna go. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm waiting sometimes to talk to Vince at the end of a show, TV show, because you'd be at the TVs, not the house shows. Sometimes you had to wait around for a while, and there'd be like a bunch of people that are waiting to meet him. And so I sat there and I was waiting to meet him. I'm glad I did it because I was so hot and I was just sitting there in my own head getting myself hotter.
Yeah, heating up.
Um, and I think that's why they left me out there. I think they knew that because they left me out there. It seems like at least an hour. And I'm just like, every time somebody would come out like Michael Hayes, I'd be like, is Vince ready yet? You know, and in my mind, I was thinking, okay, I need to show him that he doesn't have control over me. That's what I really thought.
Yeah.
And I had myself worked up into this state of mind where I was going to go in there and I was going to say, Vince, pick a hand. And I was going to smack him on his face and see what happens then. I figured there's no way I'm going to get fired for it. He might respect me for it. I don't know. If I do get fired for it, you might as well. I'd rather get fired than have you win and you, against my own will, drag me to the war zone in the desert on this big. I mean, even the airplanes sound like they're these big, uncomfortable warehouses with no seats in them. There's nothing at all about that trip that sounds good to me. And I'm already tired of traveling. And anyway, that's where my mind was. They left me out there so long. Like, I don't even know how long. Honestly, it seemed like it was close to 2 hours, but I might remember it wrong. But I kept seeing Paul like every 15, 20 minutes. And I'd say, would you tell him, does he know that I'm here waiting to talk to him? And I told Paul, I'm going to ask him to pick a hand. Paul's like, don't do that. That is not a good idea. I was like,
no.
What do you know? You know what's not a good idea? Telling me I got no choice. And I'm going, you're taking me to the terrorist zone or whatever, which, by the way, I never even did talk to him that night. They ended up saying he didn't have time for me. And I'm almost positive it's because they knew I was hot. And whether it was they, meaning the office, or they, meaning the universe, they saved me from what could have been, not a very good episode. It would have been out of respect. But in the long run, the location that we were going to got moved to a different place that wasn't as secure. So it was either Qatar first or second, whichever one. And Johnny said, now volunteer really does mean volunteer. And he went around, Chavo, Kevin, Rob, I know you're not going. I'm like, have a good time.
Hey, yeah, you're right, Johnny. I'm not.
Send me a postcard.
You have fun, though.
Yeah.
All right.